Hello and welcome to episode, I suppose 11.5 as we're calling the second episode. Once again with another guest. This time you will have heard this man mentioned many a time from our wonderful WhatsApp group, Bones as we call him, formal name Ben Jones. Great guy. Had the pleasure of knowing Ben for quite a few years now. It is a small circle in Blackpool and we all end up working at the same place. So yeah, all four of us know each other from the same place. Great to have him on. Looking forward to obviously hearing about your journey, mate. And I think more than anything, we'll hand over to you. So why Detroit? Why NFL? Well, let's go.
All right. Well, how I got into the NFL was I went to Florida for a holiday when I was an early teenager, like 12, 13 sort of ages. And on the TV one night was, I think it was a college game actually, because it wasn't any of the big name teams that I would remember now. So it must have been some sort of college game. But I remember watching it, just being like, this is insane. What is this sport? And then came home and got mad and watched a lot of YouTube videos, started getting into I watched a lot of Barry Sanders clips, which is how the Lions came to be, because his clips are something special. I know he's not necessarily the number one all-time running back, but there is something special about some of his runs. No one will ever achieve some of the stuff. He's so special. But I'm gushing. I'm wearing his number. You'll see it.
Yes.
But no, that's how I got into the Lions. That's how I got into the NFL, and yeah, that's led me up to this. But I only really got into the NFL the last couple of seasons. Up until that point, I was the kind of person who I checked the fixtures and I watched the Super Bowl. But the past couple of years, I've watched a lot more of the games and a lot more of the season. Yeah.
Yeah, similar to me, that definitely.
Yeah, from my point of view, you're relatively new to the WhatsApp group, and you're probably the most active person in there, I would say. So that's part of the reason why I wanted to get you on, because I'd never met you personally. We spoke many a time in the group. So for me, it was very much a no-brainer to get the people on that are active. Obviously, we've got you on now. We've had JP's in the group. We've had Mart, as he's now known. Who's in the group, so it's good for me certainly to put a face to your name and to get you on to hear your story and again, why Detroit, you sort of answered that. It's an interesting week to have you on, because up until this last sort of week and a half, spiraling downwards, I would say,
torture,
for want of a better phrase, but you've just sacked a couple of people and pulled out a very good result against the Bears. So what are your feelings on sort of post Patricia and pre-sacking of Matt Patricia?
I might have to eat my words by the end of this season if it keeps going this way, because I've been quite harsh on Darrell Bevell this season, because our offensive game has looked like shit, but there's something to be said of it being a bit it is the Patriots way. The way we've been doing it is run the ball first, dink and dunk over the middle, conservative, slow, draw the clock out, keep the defense off the field. That's what Patricia said he wanted to do. Now Bevell said himself, I had a lot of freedom in my play calls. It's but did he really? Because it looks like he didn't after our performance against the Bears. Against the Bears, our offense was completely different, and there was still no Golladay or Swift, which has been the excuse every other week. We've not got Golladay, we've not got our number one receiver, we've not got our draft pick running back. We're going to struggle. And then this week, we will go out there with two rookie receivers. I think we ran at one point. We had Amendola was back at least, which is good. Hockenson got 80 something yards and needs 100 and something to set a club record this season. We just looked a bit better this week. Peterson with the touchdown, it was a nice touchdown to watch. It was very emotional for him, wasn't it? The big slam the ball into the floor. He was having none of it. But no, it was a good week against the Bears. God, I wonder why they stopped running the ball, but because they were looking really good in the first half. They were running against us a lot. We were struggling, and then the second half, look, classic Bears, isn't it? The third quarter, they've scored 7 points in the third quarter all season.
Mental.
It happened again.
It was a shock when that picture went in the group. 7 points in the third quarter all season.
It's disgusting, isn't it? That
mental, yeah.
It's just they just go into half and come out. Different team, but it's nice to get the revenge after the game earlier this season where we were up and they came back and battered us. Like, it was nice to have a bit of revenge in that way.
That was sort of the trigger of your consistent head loss that game, wasn't it? I always remember from on, it was like the catalyst of, another Lions absolute failure. Another capitulation.
Because it was like the week or two before that, we broke the streak of like not falling apart in the fourth quarter of a game, like holding on to a lead. It was like, right, okay, we're doing it this season. Like, on paper, it looked good. We had like, and then the Bears week, I think the Bears was the kickoff of it all when it really started going downhill. It was like, so with the Lions again, it is that time of year. Okay, I guess we'll go back to next year. Next year's the year. Next year's the year.
It's funny, having you in the group has made me look more at the Lions, because until this year, the Lions for me were always the early game on Thanksgiving. They always played the first game. They always had some form of Motown or something on the pitch before the game. But because of your involvement in the group and stuff now, it makes me look more at them. So I don't know whether I can thank you or not for that.
That's how I feel about the Raiders. No one knew who they were until Matt started talking about them.
They were just the best team in the 80s. But
the good thing about keeping track of Lions games is it makes everyone else feel better about their team. Like,
not this week.
Well, I guess this week is the exception, but
just wait to release episode 1. I think you're very similar to me with Matt Stafford that I am with Derek Carr. I'm a big Derek Carr fan. It's massively blinkered. I know it is, and I think you're very similar with Stafford that because he's your quarterback.
That's my quarterback.
I don't know too much of the Lions sort of fan base on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, but Derek Carr massively splits the fans of the Raiders fans, and where literally like nothing I've ever seen before, where 50% love him, 50% hate him. So what's the sort of feeling towards Stafford overall?
I think with Stafford, it's not, maybe not a 50-50, but I reckon these days there's definitely fans that you see post like, maybe it's time we look to see if we can ship him off while we can still get some draft capital for him and bring in a new guy. But then there's a lot of people who say just bring in a new guy and have him play behind Stafford for a year or two. Keep Stafford around. Like, Stafford's been a Lion his whole career. Stafford doesn't look like he's going anywhere unless he has to. Like, I mean, it'd be nice to see him finish his career with Detroit, but it'd be nice to see him get a ring. And both of those things might not happen like together. Like, he's not as bad a quarterback as some people think he is. Like, he threw for 400 last week. Like,
3 TDs, 400 odd yards.
He's one of the only people to go over 5,000. We were talking about, weren't we, the other day?
Yeah.
And as well as who? As well as who?
I thought we were going to go a whole week without mentioning his fucking name.
I saw a post earlier that if he keeps this up as well, he's on for like 4,900 this season. Like,
it's decent, actually.
To do it twice as well, if he gets over 5,000, is pretty impressive.
He's got an arm, like Stafford's got an arm, doesn't he? He's got a cannon of arm, and that's what people like about him. And dink and dunk is not his style. Like, the Patriots way doesn't work with Stafford. Like, that's it. Like,
what was the comeback? Is he leading the fourth quarter comebacks? Is it now the 23?
I think he has the highest stat for fourth quarter comebacks, but as Matt pointed out, Derek Carr is very quickly catching him up in that statistic.
It's funny. I was thinking about this. It only just means that the rest of your team is shit for the rest of the game if you're having to be behind.
You're having to put it on your back,
So
he does it better than no one else, though.
Yeah, he deals with a shit team the best. I think Derek Carr and Matt Stafford got the big contracts at the same time. I think Derek Carr got the biggest contract, and a couple of days later, Stafford signed an even bigger one, something like that, about 4 years ago. So they're very much a similar sort of career trajectory, really. So that's why I think we have the similar kind of, like you said, our quarterback to what we do have. In terms of rest of the NFL, what teams do you hate the most? We don't really ask people this, but and I can only
who grinds your gears.
Well, obviously,
divisional. We don't get a lot of hatred from you in the group. That's why I think you're normally quite fair, and that annoys me.
Yeah.
I do think of myself as quite a reasonable person. Like, I don't know, like, because there's just sometimes there's players, isn't there? Like, you just look at a player and you go, that guy is unbelievable. Like, even if I hate the team, it's like the Bears, Khalil Mack. Like, I mean, his name wasn't mentioned much this week. We somehow managed to keep Khalil Mack from being Khalil Mack, but he's a great linebacker. Like, I can't take it away from them. I want to hate the Packers, but I can't hate Aaron Rodgers, especially not when he's going around.
How can you not hate Aaron Rodgers? How? How?
On Pat McAfee's
How?
show,
He's the most fake guy in the world.
Pat McAfee's show, literally last week or something, he's like, Stafford's a really good quarterback. Stafford's such a great guy. Like, I'm like,
that's why you love him.
I can't hate you when you're bigging up Stafford on like.
I think it was the same show, right? This is another reason why I hate the cunt, right? So there we go. It's happened. I've dropped that word. It's even the worst one. This is what he does to me. So,
I live for this.
Someone said, "Oh, I can imagine. You don't really look at the stats, because not many player talks about their own individual accolades. But you're so close to. I think it was 4,000 TD throws or something along those lines.
400 on it this week.
4,000 to be absolutely mad. But yeah, and he was like, "No, yeah, I do look at that, and I'm looking forward to." And I was thinking, you're a fucking prick. Like you're individual before the team. Hence the reason he's only got one ring, because he's a twat. He's selfish. I hate him. Fucking move on. I hate the cunt. Bastard.
He's not selfish.
Made me break.
So in summary, anyway, there's not many teams that I hate. Like, I just, yeah. Maybe the Patriots after the Patricia debacle.
You got their reject.
It's going to be the 49ers next at this rate. Like, 49ers want us to take Salah off them at this point. It's like, I don't know if I'm starting to wonder if everyone's right about him. Like, maybe we should just walk away from this. Like, I don't know.
Then let me just stick him with Bevel, maybe.
Well, if he finishes off the season
evils.
well, apparently he could have the job. But
yeah,
history says that we do that often enough. We've hired offensive or defensive coordinators who were already in the job when we fired head coaches in the past. It wouldn't be a first, but I'd rather see someone new, to be completely clean house at this point. It's been 3 bad seasons now or something like.
Now, just looking at the table there, you're 5-7, which is level with the Bears. Vikings are 6-6, so that's only really
we'll sort them out. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're weirdly like one game outside of playoffs. Like
yeah. This is we literally spoke about this in the first episode that the Raiders are 7-5 and not in the playoffs. Yet the Giants are 5-7. And
we're 7-5 and we're in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's the AFC is like, pissing me off.
It's far stronger, isn't it?
It is at the moment, yeah. There's been periods in history where the NFC was the same. Like,
it's only because that division with the Steelers have the NFC East, so of course they're going to be all like 11-1. Besides,
yeah, you got to play the NFC East this year. Yeah, you got an easy ride to being a big team.
Better. But yeah, I mean, I was going to ask you what your hopes were. That was what I was going with that. You're 5-7, and you're only really a 1-game swing behind the Vikings, who are in second in your division. So what are your expectations or hopes? I don't know if they're the same thing.
What are your hopes and dreams?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because you never want to get too hopeful about something that banks on other people losing. Do you know what I mean? Like, if it was a case of if we can just keep hold of this, then we're in the playoffs. But if it's a case of this person has to lose, this person has to lose, and we have to beat these 6 million terrible opponents, like, then we might be in with a shot. It's like, it's such a long shot. I think the odds are like 4%. I was looking at an article earlier because I'd just seen the news that we were still somehow in the hunt miraculously. Football Outsiders have got us at 4.4% to make the playoffs. So it's still a long shot, but.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah, basically that's it. That's half the Detroit fan base right now, isn't it? There's a chance. Like,
it's a tough end of the season though. You've got Packers.
We've got to beat the Packers, yeah.
Titans, Buccaneers, Vikings.
Yeah, that is a stinky one, isn't it?
Buccaneers
Devil's
don't
not
have a
getting that
defense,
head
though, do
coach.
they?
What are you going to say?
What? Nothing. I didn't say anything about the Buccaneers defense.
It depends which Vikings turns up for that game, really. Because the Vikings are the massively hottest and coldest team in the NFL. They can turn up.
Even the record says they're 6-6, are they, at the moment?
We've not done well against the run, though, and it's Dalvin Cook. Like, they're going to run the ball at us, and they're going to have another Dalvin Cook 80-yard touchdown run on us or whatever.
I could hear Matt itching, going, run.
This has worked out really well. It was going to be something I asked of. You people listening will know that I've made some comments recently about a comment somebody made in the group chat about. And I know he's going to piss on me with stats now, but it was quite a funny comment. And we have spoke this week outside of the group, and it is both theatre on both our parts. I think it's quite funny, and not that we provide entertainment for the group, but Tom will confirm that I have been just fishing out every time you said something. I thought I'll have that. I thought, oh, what about Derrick Henry? So I'm a massive fan of Derrick Henry. I think he's a monster. And Bones came up with well, he's only. I'm not getting I'm not paraphrasing, but it was along the lines of, well, he's going to be good because they run the ball a lot. So I know you're going to throw stats at me. I know you are. I know you
I'm not. I genuinely didn't go that deep into it in the end.
I would have done.
Or he did, and there was nothing to back it up.
It was poorly worded on my part. I accept. Like, he is a fantastic running back, and I one day I hope he's in Canton. I really do. Like, I think he will. I think he'll break records. I really think in his career he should break records. And like, it was a poor choice of words on my part. My intention was like, the Titans are a running team. I'm not with a running back like Henry. I'm not surprised he's leading the league with his skill set and his team. He probably should be top of the league. Like,
if he's having 60 more attempts than anyone else, like you said.
Yeah, like it was like 40 ahead of Dalvin Cook and like 60 ahead of Jacobs. And I'd mention his yards per carry, which was 4.9. But at the end of the day, he's a power back. He's going to be given a lot of here's some short yardage downs, power through those dudes, and that hurts your yards per carry. It's not a fair stat on him, really. Like, because there's someone else that runs a lot that's like 6 point something. It's just like, because he doesn't run up the middle. Like
Chubb. Is it Chubb, I think?
Is it Chubb?
I can't remember.
But
he had a rare fumble though, didn't he, Henry, at the weekend?
Yeah. I mean, but then at the same time, there was
terrible.
There was a play the week before where they sold out a run for a touchdown where the defense went all in on Henry and Tannehill basically walked across the touchdown line because no one was looking at Tannehill because it's the Titans. Gives a shit what Tannehill's doing. Where's Henry going? He's
I think it could be very similar to the other argument of like, are Panthers more dangerous with or without McCaffrey? If you didn't have Derrick,
with 100%,
what would they do? Like, who are they going to throw to? Who are they going to run with? I reckon try Titans without Henry. Let's see what happens. It could be like another Panthers. You don't know what they're going to do. But when McCaffrey's there, you know he's going to run.
Yeah. You know he's going to run. You know he's going to catch. He's going to be everywhere. He's going to be in wide receiver positions. He's going to be in running back positions. Like, he's just a bit of a jack of all trades utility back, isn't he? He can do a bit of everything. That's what you want him for.
What a player to have.
But I think I said, was it me who said that Panthers might be better without him? We beat them with him, and I'm sure they went on a bit of a run after that because he was injured for a couple of games.
Yeah, they did.
McCaffrey's quality.
McCaffrey is again the thing that you said was McCaffrey is probably the best running back in the league, but I don't understand why.
How? Yeah.
It's that Swiss Army knife, isn't it? That's what he is. He is a Swiss Army knife back, and put him somewhere.
I think the problem you've got when you have someone like that, and the way sometimes teams look better without, is because your coaches overutilize them, and your whole game plan is around, right, well, we'll get McCaffrey the ball, and then your teams are scheming against that, and all week watching game tape know that that's what's coming. And it's then difficult, isn't it? Because like you said, Matt, with the Aaron Donald thing is he might not get a sack in a game, but you're probably guaranteed that there's 3 or 4 more sacks because people have been double or triple teaming him. So then you go, well, you haven't got McCaffrey. Actually, you might look better because you're spreading the ball around left, right, and centre and giving it to your other talent that's out there that goes unnoticed. It's weird. You've got to be right to, as a coach, to be able to use it right. But I mean, why wouldn't you give him the ball every time? The same with Derrick Henry. You just know that you think, well, yeah, fair enough, you might have a defensive line, but this absolute wardrobe is going to run through. I'm just going to pass him the ball, and he's going to get his shovel out and just throw people out of the way.
Well, this is it. It's like the first 5 the first 5-6 times you tackle Derrick Henry, it's probably not that bad. By the 14th, 15th, 16th time of the game, you are dying. Like, yeah, he has just run through you so many times. It's like you've been in a car accident.
You know, you're lining up as a linebacker or whatever, God, for fuck's sake. When you see him get handed the ball again.
You look at the schedule.
There was a linebacker on one of the.
Go on, sorry.
There was a linebacker on one of the programs. Was like he was saying he was an ex linebacker, and they were talking about Derrick Henry, and he was like, "I'll be completely honest with you now. He is the person that you look at and you go, I'm going to try and chop block him. I'm not tackling him. And if I miss the tackle, I miss the tackle. I hope that someone else behind me gets him because he's just going to run me over." And if you've got a linebacker, you've got that mentality. You've got to think how many other people out there got that mentality of thinking, "Oh, for God's sake, do I have to tackle this absolute brute?"
Again.
He's so big, you gotta go low, don't you? Or he's taking you with him. Like half the defensive backs in the league, if they were wrapped around Henry's waist, he'd keep going. Like he just wouldn't stop. Grab the honey badger latched around his waist at like 5 foot, whatever he is, just gets dragged along. Like Henry just doesn't stop.
It's scary.
Great shout to mention a Chiefs player there.
The first small defensive back I could come up with off the top of my head.
I do think he's pretty good
he's
as well.
Absolute phenom.
More than happy for Chiefs digging out in any of these episodes. So I think we mentioned that we'd go through last week's fixtures and next week's fixtures with yourself because, as I said, you do watch a lot of the NFL. So I mean, I'll go. Jamie's always quiet in episode 2. He's been his producer role. So I'm going to go on to Jamie first. Which games from last week stick in your mind?
Which game? Well, definitely not the Seahawks and Giants, because that's one of the worst games I've watched. I actually stopped to watch that game, and I watched the first half and turned it off. I was like, why am I watching this game?
We were playing Call of Duty, weren't we?
Yeah. I was like, nope, done. I'm like, I can't watch this anymore.
You're dead to me, Matt. I'm not watching any more Raiders games.
I saw the safety.
I'd already left the group, mate.
Safety. When a team scores a safety, you don't watch it. It's like, why? How do you...
I'd left the WhatsApp group and put my PlayStation on. That's where I was at.
You were having one of those evenings.
Yeah, and when Gaz put me back in, I was ready to message him saying, "Please don't. I'm not in mood."
But then the comeback happened.
Yeah. I can't decide if I'm happy about it or not. Of course, I'm happy with the win, but it's just putting one fire out and there's 400. And I've done that. I've done Raiders last week.
Jamie, I want you to justify why the Giants and Seahawks game does not stand out to you.
5-0 at half time.
It's a soccer score, isn't it?
That's not even a touchdown. A touchdown not in the first half. I mean, it should have been a touchdown, but for some reason it just went down as a safety. But just
means both defenses played well, doesn't it?
No, the offense is just awful. I'm an attacking guy. I'm a Winston fan. I just want to see balls fly. I don't care what happens.
Oh,
saucy.
Yeah, so I think I was watching that one just like, oh, why am I watching this? It just dragged.
Wow.
It's just awful. I mean, but then you go Patriots and Chargers and it's 45-0. Why not? So yeah, again, but I hate Cam.
It's a result. I'm not. I'd rather both teams lost that game.
Yeah.
Can't stand the Chargers. Hate the Patriots. Hate Cam Newton. I'm very
Super Cam was back, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's been looking good this season. Everyone thought he was washed up and too old, and he's just like
he just runs. He just runs into the end zone. Can't throw a ball for shit. I hate Cam.
And I get lambasted for my heavy-handed statements. Like he just runs the ball in. Like
no, he just why is Taysom Hill quarterback when Jameis Winston's still on the bench? All he does is run with the ball.
Hill was really good at college, man. Like
you say that, but he finally got a touchdown pass for the
How many interceptions has he given away?
2016.
Not as many as that Broncos wide receiver.
Zero interceptions. Is that right?
Yeah, because he don't throw it. Yeah, he don't throw it. That's why.
I don't know what's going to happen with the Broncos. Is Drew Lock going to play again? Because that guy didn't throw a pick in his first week, did he? With the undrafted wide receiver for the Broncos. Yeah.
Did he throw a ball?
No, he did. He did.
No, he set a record, didn't he, to be the only team to throw more interceptions than touchdowns in a game or something stupid.
Yeah, he threw loads. He only had one successful completion.
That was it. More interceptions than completions was the record he set. That was it.
It was like 1 completion and 9 attempts. And I think he's about three interceptions or 2 interceptions.
But he was an undrafted wide receiver forced to play quarterback at the 9th hour the night before or something. Like he was always going to have a really hard time.
Pat Shurmur was your offensive coordinator.
You've got to give him for the balls to actually go out there and say, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing.
I'm going to embarrass myself on a national level. Like.
No, I think I said to the guys, I was like, this guy is becoming the quarterback. He had about 1,000 followers on Twitter. The day after the game, 13,000.
Yeah.
Made a name for himself, at least, maybe for the wrong reasons, but Jameis Winston's got less interceptions than him this season.
He's probably got more completions as well, hasn't he, Jameis?
No, well, Jameis, he's only thrown 3 balls, I think, and all completed.
He's going to be a career backup now, though, isn't he?
No, he's winning the Super Bowl. I've called it. He's winning the Super Bowl.
He's going to be a career's backup's backup.
Like a journeyman.
That is what he's become. He's not
third choice.
As a quarterback, was he? So he's back up to a guy who wasn't brought in as a quarterback.
He's a tight end of fantasy football.
Yeah. He was brought in as special teams, I think.
Yeah, but like I said, Taysom Hill got his first touchdown pass since 2016, since BSU days. He threw 2, so well done. He finally got there. He probably trained under Winston, so he taught him all the good moves. So
how to throw as many interceptions as touchdowns.
It's a skill. It's not for everyone. Not everyone can do it.
I can't judge too much. Stafford does throw a lot of picks, but.
I think Stafford's 3rd, isn't he, this year? I can't remember.
Probably,
but we all know who number 1 is. Everyone, Tom's favourite quarterback is leading interceptions.
Who is number 1 on the
Wentz,
right
isn't
now?
it?
Oh, of course. Of
course he is. Hurts has got to be the starter.
Russ has got to be up there.
Russ was up there. Should we double check?
Get your ESPN stats up. Get them up. Wouldn't surprise me if Russ was 2nd. Or Brady might even be 2nd,
He's not. He's like 5th. He's got 11 or 12, Brady.
That's me 5th.
Yeah.
No, he's 5th. Oh, yeah, that's really good.
6 rings on his fingers, obviously weighing his hands down when he's throwing the ball. Prick.
Oh, no, sorry. So Carson Wentz, Drew Luck, Kirk Cousins, Brady, Wilson, Goff, Kyler Murray, Rivers, Stafford, Mullins, Darnold, Dan Jones, Herbert, all 9+.
Hey, like I say, I expect it with Stafford. That's what he does.
Yeah.
Chucks the ball. Sometimes he throws interceptions. Sometimes he throws touchdowns. It's just what he does.
That's the way. It's entertaining to watch. You don't know what to expect.
You don't shoot, you don't score.
Absolutely love it.
Exactly. That's it. Sometimes he just fucking yeets it and sees what happens. Like just woof. He does throw some absolute ropes, like just straight like bullets. Like they hit
that one
so
too.
hard.
Was it Sefton or whatever however it's pronounced at the weekend?
Quintus Cephas.
That's it. Yeah, that was a bomb.
I've loved the Lions team names this year because at corner what we've got Aquarie or I can't even say his name. You've got Aquara on the defensive line. You've got Penasini. There's been so many fumbles with Lions players' names this year. It's been absolutely fantastic.
So we'll move on from Jamie's crazy statement that the Giants and the Seahawks game wasn't a game.
I really enjoyed Metcalf versus Bradbury, your cornerbacks, like constant battle throughout the whole game. That was quite
the second half might have been a lot better, but I turned it off after the first half. I was playing Call of Duty. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I had Red Zone on. Yeah, I had Red Zone on in the background. But...
Especially when Metcalf just planted Bradbury,
for a 1 yard gain. Yeah, really, really good.
The gain or not, it was a beautiful stiff arm. Like, you can't hate.
And Bradbury still made the tackle.
It was fantastic. That's the thing. Like that
Fuck
was
you, DK Metcalf.
To keep hold of it.
But I also love you.
What an incredible tackle!
It was a good battle. It was a very good battle.
It was a good narrative. It was a good story for a game. Like, it was enjoying.
It's in wrestling. We don't need a narrative or a story. I want to see
NFL, it's all about narratives and story. Every season is a narrative or a story. That's how it goes, isn't it?
It's probably as rigged as wrestling is anyway.
Yeah.
Who was it that did the post saying that it was rigged and they were going to talk about it?
Oh, yeah, there was one there. That was this season as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a player.
It came out this season, but I think he tweeted it a while ago, the guy.
Mad lad.
He put on Instagram, didn't he?
Yeah. And then his account was deactivated, wasn't it, when we looked?
He's probably dead.
Probably because he's
God help him.
Yeah. Because he's dead.
See a live video where there's some guys outside in the van, but don't make it to the morning.
Yeah.
Roger Goodell's had it knocked off.
Yeah.
Need to try and find that now.
You know what? If that did happen, I'd probably believe. Yeah, I'd be like, it's America, innit?
Well, Matt was like, well, that's the only reason Brady's got those Super Bowl rings.
It would answer a lot of my questions.
I know they didn't play this week, but there's been a lot of talk about the Bucs after the week before, hasn't there? There's been a lot of talk about whose offense really is it. Is it Arians? Is it Brady's?
Yeah.
It was
calling
definitely
the plays?
Arians.
Who's calling the shots?
It's Arians.
Brady's.
Well, it's Arians. That's why we're doing the long ball. Brady doesn't like the long ball. And then literally the second half against the Chiefs.
Fucking throw it.
Well, yeah, he's 43. But, yeah, they were talking about that. And then, like I said, the second half, obviously losing to the Chiefs, Brady took over and just started going to Gronk, and it worked.
He's never really thrown the long ball, though. Like, he's always been a dink and dunk. Like,
yeah, but that's what I mean. Bruce loves the big throws, which, it worked for Winston. 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. He was the leading passer. He was the leading passer last season.
It works for Winston.
It works. Leading passer last year. He had over 4,000 yards.
What was your record last year?
Well, we lost, didn't we? But
I forgot it worked.
That's what I mean. Yeah, but I'm saying it works in regards to like getting the long balls. He had the yardage. You just know. We have the most touchdowns.
I can't wait till the end of the season and we just get every single Winston clip for you. Where you've just been bigging him up, and every time he throws a pick. Well, actually, this won't happen. It's pointless, actually, because Winston's never going to play another game of football, is he? Because he's just
Winston
the third string
backup.
backup.
Winning the Super Bowl at Tampa. He called it in February. I called it in September. It's happening in February. Winston is gonna get that Super Bowl ring.
Eat that dub.
The thing is, if Winston becomes the Bucs QB again, Brown's gone, Gronkowski's gone. Like, if Brady's gone, Gronk and Brown are gone as well. Like, there's no way they're staying around. You're back to where you were before. Your only threat is Evans.
No,
and he's going at the end of this season.
He will.
I think you keep Godwin.
I do.
Keep Godwin and get draft capital for Evans. You get a first rounder for him.
You're going to be devastated at that, aren't you, Jamie, when Evans goes?
Evans is elite and
you're a fanboy, aren't you?
He's amazing. He's incredible.
Yeah.
I know Matt doesn't think he's elite, but he is incredible. Like, he is one of the best, most dangerous wide receivers in the end zone, in the red zone, let alone the end zone. You throw that ball to him at 70%, at 60%, at 50%, he'll still catch those balls and still get those touchdowns.
And that's why you get rid of him, because he's worth more draft capital.
Yeah.
You'll get a first round for him.
I hate it when stuff that happens, though, because you then keep an eye on them and you just want to know how they're doing, and it's painful.
For Amari Cooper, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, you will get first for Mike Evans. And you know what? You might even get a secondary pick after that.
I just don't want him to go to the Saints because that would break my heart.
Oh, I'd love that.
And then Jameis Winston becomes starter for the Saints with Evans.
You want that to happen because then at least you'll win your division.
If Winston and Evans, if Winston and Evans become starters for the Saints, I will switch allegiances. I won't. I absolutely hate the Saints.
I nearly had to quit NFL after my statement last week.
Yeah, it was very close. It was very close. Ben, any standout games for you, mate?
Well, other than the obvious, like the Lions beating the Bears, but we've discussed that. Obviously, there was that Washington game that happened, last night?
Yeah.
Smith bleeding all over the place. Like, That was a pretty good game.
Trooper.
There's a few games that are really interesting to watch at the moment, like because the Bills have snuck up on everyone as like a top tier team this year that could go all the way. Like I think there's a lot of teams sneaking up on people that just seem really good. Like, and there's a lot to watch in that regard.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Cowboys and Ravens goes tonight with everything that's happened.
Yeah, I mean they've got Jackson back though now, haven't they?
Yeah, I think it should be a formality, but you know,
it is a must-win game for both teams, which makes it one of those games that's worth watching, isn't it? Like
Jamie's called the Cowboys, haven't you?
I was going to say I changed my pick'ems. I was like this morning I changed my pick'ems going forward. The way this week is going, Cowboys are going to win this division.
Do you know what's really bad is on the pick'ems this week, I asked to put the Seahawks.
But on the actual third and short...
Yeah, I went with the Giants.
But Matt's really excited to show us what he's drinking.
No, well, I couldn't be asked to put my arm down. What beverages are we on? I'll happily go first because I've doubled up this week.
The beverage.
These little craft ale things. I've gone for whatever this one is. Stateside IPA from Buckhorn Brewery. I'm pretty sure I got it from Aldi. About £1 something. I'll be honest, it's pretty horrible. So I have a second one of this one, which was also from Aldi, Freak Ale Works Phantom Pale Ale. So I will crack open this one now and see how this one goes.
The live reaction. Here we go.
The first one wasn't very nice. You can all talk.
Have you managed to get the first one down?
Yeah, I just finished it then.
I want to see the first reaction. Go on, this is like a proper tasting.
I'll hang on till you guys
give it a smell. Is it like wine?
I'll hang on till you guys have announced what you're drinking.
Right. Well, we all know.
Tom's drinking.
Tom. What is he drinking?
Who knows?
I mean, we nearly ran out last week, so we could have done something different this week.
Well, you say that. You do say that.
But it ain't.
But it ain't. He's there. But I'm going to be honest. They've got 3 more bottles. That's the life they've got in them. 3 more bottles. And if I ain't got that sponsorship by the end of the 3, I'm moving on. I am moving on from you. You may taste good. But we're now 11 and a half episodes in, which probably totals about 14, 15 episodes. I've sunk enough of your beer to have a sponsorship. And I've done enough for you. We've got 70-odd subscribers that I put forward to. So it's about time you stepped up. Otherwise, Mandela will get in my business.
Hey, we're well into 300s on Twitter now, so we are doing bits.
That's it. Tell me what audience Tony Romo's got. Not a patch on mine.
Yeah. He's had a poor career.
Tony Romo. Well, I went a bit harder than beer, I will admit. I didn't have any beer in, so I've gone for some nice aged tequila. Some lovely reserve tequila, 25-year-old. Sipping tequila.
Pulling all the stops out for the podcast.
It's not even with anything. It's just straight tequila.
Yeah, that is genuinely how you drink this. It's like that kind of whiskey that you sip on. It's straight, like it's the equivalent, but in tequila form.
I think a gauntlet has been thrown there. If anyone wants to come on and go heavier than a tequila,
I'm next week.
Yeah.
And I'm just on vodka and Dr. Pepper.
At least you're on the hard spirit.
In a Dragon Ball Z glass.
Oh, here, 4-star glasses.
Oh wait, sorry. There we go.
Oh God.
This second one is actually okay. It's not bad. I don't know if it's because the first one was fucking vile.
This one tastes much sweeter.
Anything tastes better after that.
Yeah, I didn't dip my face in dog shit. What the first one tasted like. A bit harsh. I drank it. I finished it. But this is whatever this one was. Freak Ale Works Phantom Pale Ale. I'm sure I got it from Aldi, but I might not have done. Doesn't say Aldi on the can, so maybe I didn't. But yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Get at me, guys.
I want that Aldi's one. Yeah. Get me on with Kevin the Carrot.
After that glowing review of "It's all right."
Yeah. Stick it on the posters.
I say this is an exclusive, but this episode won't go out until Friday. But Carson Wentz has officially been dropped for the next game.
It was going to happen, wasn't it? Hurts was what, second round
Jalen
pick?
Hurts has been confirmed as the starting quarterback against the Saints.
Rightly so. Like, after this week's performance, who can argue it?
God, I hope he throws about 4 picks. That'd be brilliant.
Eagles are coming for the
enjoyable.
Super Bowl now. Eagles are going to go there. They're topping that group now.
Mart will be unhappy that you're saying this. Mart, it turns out he's a big Jalen Hurts fan.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't blame them for going this way, though. Like,
yeah, it's the right decision, isn't it?
Yeah,
100%.
Especially when if Wentz had played better, they'd probably have given him more time to develop. But at this point, it's like, well, what have we got to lose? Just put him out there.
So bad. I can't get over how bad he actually is.
Anything has to be better than Wentz right now. Like,
I remember
You're
when
shocking.
I first started working with Tom, and it was the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember saying to you, I think you said I fancied the Eagles to win it, and I was like, I didn't rate Wentz, and then Foles came and I was like, you don't want anything with the backup quarterback, and he fucking did in the end.
Yeah.
But the thing I want to take credit for is saying I don't rate Carson Wentz way back in 2017 when it was.
Yeah. Because there was a hype train out, wasn't there, for him?
Yeah, but yeah, you don't want anything with a backup quarterback. Turns out you do.
So I suppose that moves us nicely on to next week's fixtures then. So
Yeah.
I think, Ben, it'd be nice to sort of get gone of your hopes for is it the Packers?
Yeah. It's another divisional, isn't it? And it's it's arguably the hardest of the divisional opponents for us. It's Aaron Rodgers, it's Devontae Adams, it's Aaron Jones, it's everything that ran all over us just earlier this season, and they're all fine and still performing really well. So, yeah, I'd love to see another miracle in Detroit. Where we're just like somehow we beat the Packers as well because it's at home this time. We're not in their stadium. We're playing indoors. Like, fingers crossed.
They love the snow, don't they? So they love the snow there. So
Absolutely.
They love to play outside.
Who's your second team, Arvin, if you're to have one?
You have that fond connection to.
It tends to depend on who just players really. If there's a certain player that I'm like absolutely loving that season, then I'll generally support them. Last season, believe it or not, it was the Titans. I was like, the Titans are in the playoffs. Let's watch this. Yeah. And then the Ravens, obviously, like I love watching. Like anyone who's going to play that kind of game, they're going to move the ball like on the ground sometimes and mix it up. Trick plays, like anyone who's fun to watch. I'm down to watch.
Love a trick play. I love a fake punt.
Yeah.
Which teams do it every time, but then it'd be pointless, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Fake punt, reverse throw, whatever.
Yeah. Like a double jet sweep.
Yeah.
Like that.
Bit of a flea flicker, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
You see that college player the other day?
The Philly special as well in the Super Bowl.
You see that college player the other day just throwing it behind him? So that He's got the ball back. Yeah, all right. There you go.
There was also was it Trask was it Gary that put Trask in the group that he did the punt?
Yeah.
That's outrageous, isn't it?
Just playing every position.
Yeah.
That's the worst part though. They actually didn't get a touchdown from it, but then it got called back.
Did they?
I'm pretty sure in one of the games they went for the punt, faked it, got the touchdown, and it got pulled back another 5 yards.
Ugh.
For like holding or something. I can't remember what it was.
I hate that. That happened to the Giants this year.
Yeah.
That's painful.
Should we announce we have somebody on our socials who's doing it for us?
Yeah, I think so.
I've said it now, haven't I?
Yeah.
Pause the recording.
I ain't editing.
Because you missed last week, Jamie. But yeah, we do for all of those people that follow us on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and whatever else we've got. We have, I've got to employ them. We haven't. We've just drafted our mate Gazin, who we are hopefully all being well going to have on the podcast next week to sort of introduce to him. He's in the group chat. He's my best mate. We've been mates for nearly 20 years, I think now. Me and Gaz.
Too fucking long.
Yeah, far too long. But it was me who got him to work at Slater and Gordon. So yeah, cheers guys. But we've drafted him in, so you may see us being more active on Twitter certainly. And guys did a great job on Sunday. Banging out loads of posts and different things.
Oh, is that who it was?
Yeah.
I have time for that. I was playing Call of Duty.
You may have noticed we were super active on Sunday night, but it was Gaz doing it. Because
he ain't got a life. He works till R4.
He's awake all hours of the day, as you will have noticed. So Gaz has done a great job on the weekend, and hopefully we're going to get more and more active to sort of fall in line with the competition we've got going on Twitter at the moment. As I mentioned in the last episode, which, depending on when this is released, we either know the winner or we don't. So if you've got anything to ask Gary next week, we'll hopefully have him on. I'm not sure he's been massively active on Facebook, but we did tend to sort of focus on Twitter, didn't we? Because that's where the competition's run. So, hopefully all being well, we'll be more active and you'll see more stuff. And if it isn't funny, let us know, because we will destroy Gary for it in the group chat. As Gary gets destroyed in the group chat anyway, it's quite fun. But no, we appreciate that, guys. So hopefully we'll have him on next week. I don't think there's anything else. We normally give people a chance to sort of promote their own Twitters and stuff now, don't we? But with if you want to give yourself a shout out, Bones, I don't know if you
plug Bones.
I mean, I don't do a lot. So I mean, follow me by all means at Dr. B0NES, Dr. Bones, but with a 0 for the O. But I mean, I don't post much. It tends to just be like shit posting most of the time. So it's not going to be much interesting. I just posted in the group chat, man. I don't know. I got a lot to say in the group chat.
Yeah, we mentioned the group chat quite a lot on these, and you're absolutely an essential member for me now. Same as pretty much everybody that's in there, apart from he kicked out the week, Tom. It's somebody just booted somebody from the group.
It's Johnny Bass. Yeah, see you later, Bass man. Yeah, he'd clearly got us muted. He'd joined, said hello, and clearly muted the group.
Yeah, there's people who aren't as active in there, but as I mentioned earlier, I think you are probably the most active person in there at the moment. JP's.
I've not got much of a life, man.
Well, JP sort of went fishing with you, didn't he, recently with the only good because he won a ball or something. He put a top in there, didn't he? Which I thought was great. And he just doesn't say anything then, John, does he? He just shuts up and lets it sort of...
He's got a new favourite number though, JP, hasn't he?
35.
35.
We might have to get him back on for episode 35, might we?
Yeah, 100%. Episode 35, he's on this.
Everyone telling us to hire Robert Salah, and he's there like 35 first downs, man. Like, why we want to hire this man?
Really, fantastic.
Another good episode for me. Again, I enjoy getting to know people I don't know personally, like yourself. I've spoken to you for. I've only been in the group chat now, but never actually spoke like this. So it's been great from my point of view.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me on, everybody.
You've got the big question yet. Don't think like you're past. Who's winning the Super Bowl? Who's going to the Super Bowl? What do you think of Jameis Winston? That's the big one. I'm ending every episode now with everyone's opinion on Jameis Winston. It's like a plane crash.
Well, if you are going to cut it off at the very end of him doing James Winston, someone needs to put our socials in, because I'm shit at it. I don't even know what. At Third Short Pod on probably everything. I don't know.
At Third Short Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Third Short Podcast on Facebook. And Third Short Pod on TikTok.
And I think is it Third and Short UK Podcast on YouTube.
Oh yeah, we've got YouTube. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got YouTube. We're trying to promote.
It's that YouTube.
Yeah.
And as with the last episode as well, we are now sort of working in collaboration with silverfx.co.uk. All being well, you'll get so much stuff from us shortly to go and have a gander at. But check out silverfx.co.uk for all things. Well, I'm just going to say, just check it out. There you go.
So come on. You've had time to think about it.
What question? What did you ask?
Super Bowl. Who's winning the Super Bowl?
Who are they against? And then what's your opinion on James Winston?
The big three. Three.
Oh dear. I wouldn't blame you if you quit the group, to be honest, mate. See that.
You just got to milk it for what it's worth now until he gets that ring.
I don't think the Steelers are making it.
No.
Potentially controversial opinion. I think.
No, they ain't.
Oh, I hate to say it because it seems so harsh, but I think their record might be a little bit fraudulent.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think they're making it out of their side of the playoff bracket anyway. Because what they got to get through the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs are almost a shoe-in. I think
it's one thing we haven't actually mentioned. Chiefs and the Saints have actually got their wild card berth now. They are actually officially qualified for the playoffs.
Well, I think that was going to be it from the other side.
Clinched.
I don't want it to be the Saints. I kind of want it to be the Packers, but I know how you all feel about Aaron Rodgers. But
it's just Tom hates him. I love him.
If we can't make it, at least another North team can. That's my attitude from our side of the divisionals. Is like, if the Lions don't make it, then at least be another NFC North team. So I think the Packers are in with a good shout.
Yeah, Ben's such a nice guy, though. He's like, but one of us, dilly-dally one of us.
Think about it this way. If your division rival wins the Super Bowl, they get the last pick in the draft.
Yeah,
your opponents get weaker.
Well, they don't, though, do they?
No, not necessarily. Anyway. Well, we'll see. It's hard to back-to-back, though, man. It's almost unheard of going back-to-back.
They are the best team in the NFL, though. And, if they do go all the way now and don't lose another game, the only team to beat them. So, by default, we're better than them. I'll take that.
We've also lost to them as well.
But overall, we beat them if you put the points together in both games. I mean, we nearly lost to the Jets, so I have nothing else to cling on to.
I was watching something the other day, Tyreek Hill was talking about how because Patrick Mahomes is such a good quarterback, people do forget about him sometimes. I was going to say, I wanted to bring it up, Tyreek Hill in that team is such an unsung hero of that team. He is so fast. That man is so fast.
Cheater.
Yeah, and everyone just, Mahomes gets a lot of the attention. I just wanted to shout out Tyreek Hill as a.
It is annoying what talent he's got around him.
Yeah,
I can't stand Tyreek Hill. I can't stand Patrick Mahomes, but I can appreciate how good Mahomes is. Tyreek Hill's just a fucking prick.
Copying the Ray Lewis dance.
Yeah.
Doing the helps on the way.
Yeah, that was brilliant. To be fair,
Clyde Edwards-Helaire was looking really good as well, man.
Yeah,
was. And then they drafted Bell, and sorry, Tom, but he's looked really good since he left the Giants.
Yeah.
Sadly.
I'm sort of glad he's out of New York.
Yeah.
He's played a lot better with the Chiefs.
Jameis Winston, come on. This is how.
What's my opinion on Winston?
Jamie needs to cut this off at the right time here. So he's
lifelong backup, isn't he? He's never been a starting job again. Never.
I'm talking about previous seasons. Do you not enjoy you said that you enjoy watching games?
Yeah,
to watch. You don't know what's going to happen. He's going to throw an 80-yard bomb and he'll throw a 20-yard interception. It's great. I love him.
Yeah, and I think that's as much as what's keeping him from getting a starting job ever again as anything else. Because say about Stafford throws a lot of picks, but he doesn't throw 30 for 30, man. He doesn't throw as many touchdowns in interceptions as he does touchdowns in a year.
30 for 30. What a documentary. But a year behind Breeze, a year behind Brady,
a year behind Taysom Hill
with the Bucks. He's doing it. He's coming back home.
We'll see.
Yeah. Not after that dub. He's never coming back to Tampa. But he's winning the Super Bowl.
I can't believe we've lost a 7th round pick for that celebration. I find that brilliant.
You lost a 7th round pick for that celebration, for that?
No, for the third string quarterback was dancing around the locker room after they got a win that he wasn't involved in.
Yeah.
Without any masks on, they got fined a 7th round pick.
Good. They're treating COVID properly,
which
as it
shows
should.
If the Saints win the Super Bowl, they've lost Mr. Irrelevant, haven't they?
Yeah.
Wow.
I wonder why we had Mr. Irrelevant this year. I need to have a look at that.
Mr. Irrelevant, aren't we?
And on that note, thank you very much for listening. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm sorry you had to deal with Matt the prick Davenport, but thank you very much, mate. Really enjoyed it. Great having you on.
Thanks again for having me on. No, seriously, anytime.